Alrighty. Hey everyone, welcome to Jaraci Cup 7. Gonna start the first casts here, although we haven't actually finished casting Jaraci Cup 6 yet. But that's whatever. Gonna be between Houston and letsrock, starting in the group stage. And of course, this tournament we did something different. We only have two groups, A and B. And so this series we will kick things off with Houston actually gonna be the higher seed here, so letsrock gonna have first pick, but I think Houston is probably favored to win this series. And he's gonna pick Conf. Houston picks Soban, and letsrock picks Kalash Teeth for game 1. Looks like the replay is from Houston's perspective as well. Nice colors there. Looks it's like Puck 2, right? White and red. Of course, Conf doesn't really have colors; they're just rusty boys. But he's sort of playing into it by going orange, right? It's like the color of rust. Whatever. And finally, we're able to cast on high graphical details. That's pretty cool. But it's been a while since I did this, actually, now that I think about it. The meta's changed a bit, so I might be a bit behind on... This all happened because of you Galzians. I might be a bit behind on the meta, but we'll definitely learn as we go along. Looks like LAV Fab going to be coming out first here for Houston. This doesn't look like an AV rush, though, because I think his timing would be a bit late in that case. It might be like... No, I don't know what he's doing here. We'll have to keep eyes on that. But it's going to be ref mode first for letsrock. We'll see if he plays greedy here. It's a bit greedy if you build salvagers at this point, but nope. Skimmer Fab should come out first, and that's what he's going to do. Looks like it's going to be a couple of LEVs, and AV Fab is getting teched here for Houston. So he's a bit late on this timing, but we can forgive him. Both of these players, actually, kind of new to the DOK scene. They are Homeworld Remastered players joining DOK. This is both of their second tournaments, I think. Might be letsrock's third, but I'm not sure. Of course, good for letsrock that he didn't get greedy, because his opponent is going to pressure him, you got to assume, with these AVs. The idea when you go AV Fab first is to try and get in there. If your opponent is playing really greedy, you can damage his eco, but otherwise you just try to slow it down. And then you can pop up onto 2 base faster than him. But it looks like we'll have a bit of downtime as these two players get ready for that. And Assault Chip Tech going to be coming out very early here for letsrock. He doesn't have any scouting, so he's doing this blind, but he's a bit lucky in that case. That is, I think, the right choice. Obviously, what you want to do, if your opponent expands, like he does 6-up or something, you actually want to just make another PC at this point and try and get ahead of him on eco. So having like 1 or 2 sand skimmers can be really good for just getting that information. He's going to try to pick up an artifact now, but I'm not a huge fan of this. I think, he can keep this base runner back here and just try and like keep him ready to do this like in the late game when there's no pressure on the field anymore from his opponent, or the mid game that is, or try and keep it for blast drones and smoke to like try and defend a little bit. He is gonna get this one out though, so again getting a little bit lucky here, but that's fine. There's only 2 LAVs here to challenge it, so we'll get out. But then the space runner, you gotta assume, will die at the end of that, so. Still though, that's really good for defending, because obviously a bit more power is obviously quite nice when you're getting attacked. And it is going to be Sport Cruiser coming out for Houston after 3 AVs here. But see, I think he's just a little bit too late. I think when these guys get here, they might get a little bit of damage done, but not much. You can see there's already an Assault Chip here, and then he'll be getting up onto 2 base, but his opponent already is on 2 base, so... I think this build puts Houston a little bit behind. He's going to want to refine the timings a little bit. You should be able to get AV tech started at like 29:15, I think. Because yeah, LAV Fab takes 35 seconds, right? Or 45 seconds. Well, I guess I'm not sure. I should look into that myself, because obviously, apparently I'm not entirely sure either, but it can definitely be faster than this. I'll just put it that way. I also like moving the carrier out to the second base instead of the Sport Cruiser, but he's going to move the Sport Cruiser instead. This is not a bad smoke. Well, could be better. But he shouldn't really be trying to take this fight here. He does have armor 1, his opponent doesn't, but... Yeah, he's not going to win that. 2 on 2, you would assume that the Assault Chips have a bit of an advantage unless one of them gets smoked out really, really well. So, letsrock is gonna do just fine then. He manages to repel that early attack, and he does have a second PC Interceptor Fab on the way. This looks great. I think this is a really good position for letsrock, so he could be looking to take this first game, actually. And like I said, I think Houston probably favored to win this series, so this is great for letsrock. His opponent made a bit of a mistake, and he definitely has capitalized on, you know, just the right way, I think. And Interceptor Fab, really strong choice. I always say this to people, right? If you're ahead, try going air, you know? If you're ahead, air can be a really powerful tool to just kind of pound your way to the victory. What I would love to see, though, put the carrier here, and then take this production cruiser and move it over there, and try and get this third base set up as well. He might think that there's a bit more pressure coming his way, though, because he's built a lot of assault ships. So I think that's kind of what he's got on his mind. Love to see just a little bit of scouting over on this flank, though, because obviously from his view, doesn't know if there's someone coming in from behind that kind of limits what he can do over here, but definitely he's got the army advantage, and he's got the eco advantage too, if he would move this carrier, because obviously Houston does not have another support cruiser to match. And he will have the tech advantage as well if he just builds these interceptors, which he's doing. Gonna catch off a straggler here too, that's really good. And let me tell you, in the right hands, assault ships can feel quite difficult to fight as well. That's exactly what they want to do. And now you can see he's totally gained the field controls. This is what I was talking about, that base runner. I'd love it if he would go to get the artifact now, but the fact that he did get the artifact means that if he had been pressured a bit harder, he would be okay. But you can see what value that would give to like not have used the base runner so early. Gonna pick off a logistics module for free here too, that's obviously nice. Bit of bad micro on this guy might get him killed. No, he's gonna live. I think Houston really wants the kill here, but he shouldn't push out, because that's kind of playing into his opponent. That's a bit questionable micro, though. Because he can hold this choke forever, even though there are rails, right? And also, he's got air, so he can come up and snipe these railguns if he wants them. So, maybe a bit of a mistake there, but because once he gives his opponent this ground, this actually does become a bit of a hard point. Admittedly, with air launching, I'm not sure that's gonna work, but you know what I mean. Like, he didn't have to actually yield this part of the ground here, but missile battery's getting teched by Houston as well now. He does have a support cruiser, he's moving on to 3 base. So this is definitely when letsrock wants to strike now, and this is a very juicy target. So I'd love to see him just dump the missiles in there. No, it's going straight for the eco. But, you know, I can get behind that too. I just gotta think, if you go for the army, the eco tends to follow. That's kind of my principle there. But to be fair, he's also still not on 3 base, and so like maybe this is kind of important for going even for him. So, not the biggest fan, but he got big damage. Definitely air paid off for him in the end. Houston, meanwhile, rebuilding cells. I think he's got to just get anti-air first. Well, he'll get anti-air eventually. Hey, it's just carrier. Welcome, sir. Still, though, this carrier placement, not a big fan. Again, you can just go right here, take this PC over there, get up onto 3 base. And letsrock is definitely losing out on potential eco by doing that. He could have been on 3 base this whole time, so imagine how much more money he has. He could be going to Con of Siege. Con of Siege, always a good choice, guys. I mean, why not? He could be going to Precision Bombers if he wanted it. He could just have like another PC out. He could have everything, so. There we go, though. The tech is going to be Con of Siege. Again, good choice. It's pretty much always a good choice if you have the time to tech to it. I don't know what situations it really wouldn't be. And now he's looking for, okay, there's the anti-air. That means this main base is vulnerable again. And I'd love to see him actually just take out the support cruiser as well. Maybe on like the second pass. Oh yeah, it's Cookies. Hey. Welcome, sire. He and I just played our group stage matches. But this is definitely an overstay here. Ooh. Ouch, he just lost like all of those, right? Yeah, that was 6 interceptors. So he came in and got the damage. He could have just turned back and left. Ow, that was quite a painful looking exchange right there. Who won? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. fun was the winner. Oh, well, that's a good way to put it. I'm a spoiler-free zone. You know that? It's gonna be Assault Cruiser set coming out here for Houston, and Assault Cruisers can fight Con of Siege. It obviously takes some good micro, but they can also gain anti-air. I think that's maybe a good. Yes, you can go back in the stream VOD and watch it live if you'd like. It's still up there, of course. Assault Cruisers can be good because they've also got anti-air, right? But that's a big tech investment. You don't want to do that just because the opponent has got air. Oh, beefiest jammer in the world. That's actually... No, I think this guy would have extracted anyway, but still, it's gotta be a nice warm feeling when you get that many sand skimmers stuck in a targeting jammer. This is still a bit of an awkward spot though for Houston because he has missile batteries which could block these sand skimmers, but unreliably. Yeah, he's gonna get some damage, but it's not enough. So all these rails probably gonna be forfeit now. It's like one AV here to defend. And this army is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger for letsrock. Could be even bigger. Let me just point that out if he was on 3 base, but at this point he's already like, this is fine. Like, if your army is this much bigger than your opponent, you are in a very comfortable position. And these skims, if he answers the skims, he doesn't have an answer to Con of Siege, right? So he's got him in kind of that checkmate position. He's not building one though, but you got to imagine those are going to come out when he's got the money. Yeah, I think that's a Con of Siege cruiser on the queue now. Indeed, it is. And this many skims, guys, this can fight AAVs. Like, he can kill these if he wants. I mean, what do you do if you're Houston? You surrender. You GG. Perfect freaking timing. All right, yeah, that's what you do. He knows, and he's gonna surrender there. And in a bit of an upset, I'd say letsrock taking the first game off of Houston. Great stuff. I'd love to see it. Very well done. Yeah, and look at this eco advantage, guys. This could be even bigger. He could be at like 2,000 or 20,000 with that third base setup. But you can still see that AV rush just did not pay off, and letsrock with ref mode first. If you're able to hold that, it's a very good build to learn, because if your opponent doesn't punish it, you can just get ahead, and that's what your games are going to look like. Game 2, though, going to be on Canyon Outpost. This game going to be Houston's pick, right? This is a map where you could do early aggro, right? But you could also just go for eco, and I think because obviously this map was picked after the first map was played, Houston probably going to be thinking in that, like, probably going to be thinking of going eco this game, but we'll have to see. He's going to retire the base runner though, so who knows. But you could still be going 6-up if you do that. Two PC rails? On this map it's okay. I'm thinking it's always risky if you attack the main, obviously, but like if you attack the second, see this hill right here? This one's gonna give you a bit of trouble. So I think 2 PC rails is okay on this map, but I would rather not see it. Assault ships though really, really strong, because look at how many hills they can just kind of like get footing in, right? Actually, is letsrock going for some kind of aggro? Doesn't look like it. But Houston is definitely going for SC first, and that's kind of what I wanted to see. It's gonna be kind of aggressive with that base runner retire coming out. Like aggressively economic is what I mean by that. Not like he's gonna attack his opponent. In fact, I suppose that's the exact opposite of what I said, so pro casting only on this channel, as you would expect. But yeah, he's gonna pop up pretty much as fast as you can. I like keeping the base runner though, because obviously if you are gonna be attacked, the base runner can give you some great utility for holding that off, but... Not to spoil anything, but we definitely learned earlier today that you can be a bit too confident in turrets, right? And Savon hasn't even got that, it's only got the targeting jammer, so... definitely I would say... the Savon base runner, useful in the defense, but if your opponent is not going to attack you, he doesn't need it, so... Turrets OP. Nerf, please. Man, they really used to be, so I mean, like, turrets being weak, I think, is not the biggest problem in the world, right? You know, you're right, A-Game. Targeting jammer can just, like... Not only is it a lot more fun, because like turrets, it's like, okay, I can lock down an area with a turret. Like, yeah, it's good, but it's not exactly the most fun thing, right? But targeting jammer, like if someone lands like a targeting jammer on like the entire opponent's army, you just think like, oh, you know what I mean? It's a different feel entirely. Oh, another thing to note though, like if he's got a targeting jammer, he might as well deploy it before he retires the base runner. Just like right there is a good place. So, or actually, I guess you want it like in front of the hill, like right here, so that if opponents like put an assault ship right there, you kind of don't have to worry about it, because if he comes over the dune, he's going to be targeting jammed anyway, and he can't shoot the jammer, obviously. So, before you retire the thing, you just gotta go ahead and drop that thing down. Sanskiri going to attempt to defend the space runner, but that will get sniped. Similar to last game, he is going to get this extraction, but he obviously forfeits that base runner. And again, I've got to... Well, maybe he doesn't even get the extraction here, but he does have smoke still. But again, I gotta think, it's probably worth it to just hold on to that base runner and use it later on in the game, right? Houston, meanwhile, going up to fighter and gunship, he does have the production upgrade on the way. That artifact does get stopped. No smoke was popped, so... But that much distance, he might not have made it anyway. I'd love to see him fill out this base though, because he's going to be wanting for RUs here. These LAVs, these like last three, I don't know exactly what value they give you. You could just make 2 cells, fill this out. That'd be really, really nice. But his game though, he can do what he likes. We do have ref mode done here, obviously, for letsrock. He is building another PC. He's got a bit of armor, so he's not going to die to these LAVs, that's for sure. Not to mention, Conif Carrier is really quite good on the defense. But Houston's going to try it anyway. He will get 1 salve, it looks like. Right? Yeah, okay, he does get that one. Actually, that was pretty much perfect. I thought he needed to stay in a bit longer. No, apparently not. So he does get 1 salve, but at the cost of like 3 LAVs, I think? Maybe just 2. I'm not sure if that's terribly worth it. He did flip these guys to RUs, I like that. But I'd like it more if he would just fill out that base and cancel this LAV. He doesn't need that. Obviously, LAV is going to be good, but like, how many do you really need, right? Especially when your opponent has got these assault ships out already, I think. Just focus on the air. That's probably going to be more valuable for you. Interceptors teching as well for letsrock, and in the straight fight, you would expect even numbers of interceptors to beat even numbers of strike fighters, but like, I don't know if we're ever going to get even numbers, right? Well, we might if he builds a gunship. This maybe is a mistake, but obviously starting building air units later and also having only 1 production slot, you would kind of expect Houston would get ahead that way. And he's got the money to queue another strike fighter. I'd love to just see that as well. He filled out the base here, right? Oh, not quite. He actually only got 1 here, but he's gonna launch with 2. Just get a bit of damage onto these assault ships. He's going to use that as well to engage here. Normally would be a bad trade for him, but he didn't even lose a single LAV, so well done. And he's going to take the armor upgrades too, so... Are you like a prophet or something? Wow. Nicely done, man. Nicely done. Yeah, you're right. He's going for 2 gunships here. Now, I like the armor upgrade choice. I don't like the second gunship. Because again, we don't know the opponent's tech, but we did see he has... assault ships, right? So like if you go for a second gunship here, you're really just asking to get like obliterated by interceptors if things go badly. And I said he had that lead in numbers, but he's kind of given it away already, right? And then teching rails which don't have any anti-air. Or more than that, are very weak to air. I could see this going very bad very fast, so we'll have to check it out. To be fair, he does have these LAVs which have quite a lot of anti-air potentially when they're this much blobbed up, but I'd say, you know, just there are better ways to play this. But I do like the armor up, because obviously the real threat to these LAVs is assault ships. Just get armor, don't get damage, right? You don't want them to hurt more, you want them to live more, so... Speaking of which, gonna get chunked a little bit here. Ow. But he's gonna be mostly okay. He lost like 4 there, got 2 salves. I mean, you could definitely trade better, but you could definitely trade worse. Interceptor AoE likes blobs. Yeah, but I think like against Strikecraft, you really don't want to be using interceptors, right? They're really going to be pretty weak that way. He's going to want to save them to try and take out these gunships, and his assault ships can deal with the LAVs on their own. And indeed, here comes that first gunship. Gonna get good damage in here, but I imagine this is an instant launch. Yeah, and he sees them, but like, what do you do about this? This guy's just already dead. And probably the second one will fall as well. We can watch it in full cinematic glory if we like. Nice. Oh, man. He just, like, slammed into that rock. Ouch. He got, like, 1 assault ship, right? For 2 gunships. That's not what I would call worth. I'll put it that way. Of course, in this tournament, there is no failure to advance to upper brackets, so he's not really worried about... He's not really worried about elimination with this series, but I will say, like, if that was on the on the table, you gotta realize the other opponents in this series are... Or in this group stage are, like, Marchwad and an A game, right? So, like, this would have been a really important series to win 2-0 for Houston if this was, you know, if we were talking about elimination, but... Fortunately for him, that's not on the table. But still, you'd like to see him win these. I think he was probably the favored player coming into this, but letsrock is really... He's showing him up. He's doing great here. I think the one thing I still criticize for him, though, is not getting up onto 3 base, but... Like, Con of Siege on the way, you know, he just plays it exactly like last game, and his opponent did adapt to it, but didn't play it right. He kind of made a mistake. He rocks? Yeah. Yes, he does. Well said. And Houston can launch now to try and catch these guys on the back end, but they're so much faster. He's never going to catch them. What he needs now is ground anti-air, and he is going to get it with this missile battery, but... First off, mind that, you know, letsrock could be on 3 base if he wanted to. Houston is just... There's no way he comes back from this position. But also, you know... Oh, no. He's also going to lose strike fighters to PCs. Quite a lot of them even... Ooh. That's a bad feeling when you do that with your air units. Happens to me way too often. But yeah, like, even if he does, you know, fill this base back up, he still is behind, and he could be even more behind. So, like, this is a bad situation. Avi's gonna get a little bit chunked here, but they're okay. They're gonna kill off these skims too. He gets his first artifact. That is nice for that is really nice for Cookie. No, oh my gosh, Houston. Cookie's the guy talking. But yeah, see, here come the air units to try and snipe now off the main base. Unfortunately, they wasted some missiles on the, whatchamacallits, on the target meter, or the ALM, but still, you can see you're gonna get quite a few salvager kills here. You could even finish off this, SC if you'd like. Looks like he is gonna stay for that. That's really bad. I don't know, this is almost like GG area, you know what I mean? Because, like, once he stabilized to, like, not die to this air, you know, Con of Siege, it's done, right? Isn't this the first one coming out? No, it's not, but it'll be done soon enough. This is a really tough situation to be in. He's gonna do what he can. Oh, this is not what you can do. I've done the math on this before, but if the carrier is actually on one of the bases, it's always better for the eco, so you want to be doing that instead. He does have 1 missile battery, alright? So he's got that going for him. And he has got rails, I guess. But Con of Siege can, like, definitely has the tools to fight rails, and if worst comes to worst, letsrock just kind of suicides some interceptors to kill the rails, and then Con of Siege has no opposition, so... The one thing he's got going for him, he does have the artifact lead, but I don't know if that's going to stay either. But, you know, that being said, he picks one up. This guy, though, probably wants to just go back to the main base and be there for the defense, but... Interceptor's gonna try for some more damage here. Actually, they're gonna get it. This one could die. Yeah, he does go down. Actually, they're really flying under the anti-air here, though, so I'd love to see him just pull out now, but... He's freaking committed, man. This is like kamikaze. Oh my. Well, he got 1 salvager. Not sure that's gonna be worth it, though. Whoa, look at the ricochet. Oh my gosh. Where's he going? I never even saw him. Oh, Look at that. Boink! He landed all the way over here. That's crazy. I love the physics in this game. Good engage here. He's able to take out a couple of skims for free. Actually, they've both got a lot of upgrades for these things. Even upgrades too, right? No, actually Houston is a little bit ahead that way. Oh, the missile battery mortar is beautiful. And that's a very, very good trade for Houston. I mean, hey, if he wants to get back in this game, that's what he's got to start doing. We haven't got any SC anti-air coming out either. That would be maybe a good call here, but just because you know these guys are going to be a target, and if you ever move this missile battery off, you're going to be in trouble. He's trying to do some harassment with his air of his own, but obviously when those interceptors are ready to launch, that's gonna be painful. Maybe he thought that they were all dead, but no, there's still quite a few. He's rebuilding them too, so still though, if he keeps suiciding them like this, eventually he's gonna be hurting for interceptors. So I'd love to see him stop doing that. Double con of siege ready though, and again, this is what I was saying. It looks like Houston is more or less stabilized when it comes to dying to air, but you know, what do you do about this? Honestly, like, ConF is such a strong faction right now because of the unique timings that you can do with having a frontline brawler unit that comes off of the assault ship tech line. It's really powerful. If your opponent gets behind by air, basically, you know that this is coming, right? Why is he rebuilding strike? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't realize that this is a threat yet, but like, he sure does now, yeah? Now he's gotta know. And like, what do you do now? Yeah, he has canceled them, he's getting Mag Excel, but this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be where you wanna be in this series here. Targeting jammer goes down. And that will be the first of many structures, I assume, that get destroyed in this onslaught. Down goes the ALN as well. And just there's just nothing to stop this. This is exactly where they want to move as well. No reason to clear this really big, you know, flat ground. Just take a position right here. If your opponent stops you from crossing the dune, just barrage. And this is textbook kind of siege. Have they got the range upgrade? No, so that'd be something to go for next, but it's exactly where he wants these units to be. These units really not too hard to use. I'm telling you guys, if you want to win games, build kind of siege. Like they're really good. You know, if you can get ahead with air, this is like a guaranteed win condition almost. Well, I know you did, but like even so, man, they're just so good. When you get to players who, how do I say? Well, maybe this kind of siege is gonna die. Hold that thought. Yeah, it is gonna go down. So we got one at least, but I mean, he gutted the eco. There's 3 salvagers left on this side. So, hey, look, it's March 1. Well, that's awesome. That's kind of what I mean, though, right? Because a lot of players in the mid tier, they will just die to air timings, right? Also, this actually is going to be a dead con of siege. Wow. Well, that's pretty nice. That's true, yeah, the carrier missiles are really powerful too. But like, this game plan that letsrock is running, if you want to win games in the mid tier, this is just what you do, right? Play ConF, go ref mode, play it safe, go assault chips, go air, and your opponent so many times will just give openings where you can just kill him with air. This happens so many times in the mid tier. When you get to the top tier, like against A game, against March 1, Discara, myself, right? Like, yeah, we're not gonna just die to that, and so kind of siege won't just be an instant win button. That's why, by the way, when March 1 was winning those games against A game, we were saying like, wow, this is so cool because like, oh, he's just using kind of siege to win. Well, no, when you get to the top tier, people aren't just gonna let you win with kind of siege, right? But like at this mid-tier level, you can dominate with kind of siege. It's a good unit because people are gonna let you get ahead with air like this. By the way, ouch. I wasn't talking about it, but he just lost like 3 rails. He does not have money to rebuild army, right? So he really can't be caught overextending like that. He even committed an ALM to it, but obviously that's gonna go down. And at this point, I'd say it's pretty much over. Looks like he's got the resolve to stick in it, but his opponent can win off of Sand Skimmers at this point. He's got kind of Siege to spare, though. Still, though, no 3 base. And again, if letsrock wants to move into the top tier, this is probably the first thing he needs to change. Is gotta be expanding onto eco whenever you've got the opportunity. Unless there's a reason not to, right? You gotta be doing something. If you're not building army, build eco, right? So, kind of sending these skims in one at a time too. I'm not a huge fan of this, but look at the number of interceptors. That's just gonna be a one-shot. Well, maybe not, but close. Close. Strike Fighter's gonna launch and try and deal with it, but honestly, the interceptors can ignore them or fight if they want. They can do whatever. Looks like he's gonna dock these guys though. Support Cruiser does go down, and the eco is gutted again. And this is what it's gonna be like for the rest of this game if Houston sticks in. Every time he gets eco back up, it's just gonna die. He kind of overchases as well with these Strike Fighters. But he doesn't lose any amazingly, so that's pretty lucky for him. And actually, both armies kind of getting wiped here, but obviously you got to imagine with the massive economy lead from letsrock, that's got to favor him. He hasn't finished it yet, though. He's having some trouble getting the game just all the way done here. Looks like there's an invisible interceptor out there somewhere, but happens, you know, happens. Especially in replays, you'll get interceptors just turn invisible, but don't know exactly how to fix that. Yep, look at that. Houston is going to decide he wants to GG right there. New kind of cloaking technology. Well, it didn't seem to be very good. Those LAVs could shoot at it. Anyway, he does see the writing on the wall. He's going to surrender. And the series goes 2-0 for letsrock. Gotta say, I wasn't expecting that. So that's very well done. I like it. Coalition heat-seeking targeting technology. Evil.